The kid hit the dirt so fast you'd have thought I'd shot him. One second I'm catching a teenager creeping around my cabin. The next he's writhing on the ground, grabbing his ankle and howling like I'd broken his leg on purpose. I'm standing there, dumbfounded, thinking, did this kid really just hurt himself, or is he playing me? Before I could sort out what was happening, I hear an engine gunning it up my driveway. And that's when dread hits. This isn't some random trespass. I've just walked straight into a setup, and you're about to see just how wild things got. So, here's how I wound up in the kind of mess that makes you question every help your neighbor lesson you ever learned. I was living the quiet life, finally, out of my little lakeside cabin in Pine Valley, 30 years, busting my back in construction just to earn a view of the water and a patch of land to call my own. Nothing fancy, just mine. My neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, had just invited me to a barbecue that morning. Life was simple. A little paint peeling, a pickup truck with more miles than memories, but it was honest work that got me there, and I liked it that way. That afternoon, I was fixing a board on my deck when I spotted him, tall, clean-cut, maybe 17, sporting sneakers worth more than my monthly groceries. He kept walking the edge of my property, glancing over, circling back. You know how you get a sixth sense after enough years on job sites? That something's off gut feeling? Yeah, it was screaming. This wasn't just a lost kid. This was a recon mission. When he made his third pass and finally stopped at my gate, just a simple wooden marker that screams private property. To anyone with half a brain, I knew I had to say something. Hey there, can I help you with something? I called out. The kid froze, caught, then swore to go, just dropped himself to the gravel and started howling about his ankle. Like he'd seen it in a bad movie and thought, yeah, that'll work. And here's the thing. I've seen real injuries. Construction isn't gentle. This was not a controlled, too practiced. But you help someone in pain, right? That's how I was raised. So I go over all easy, don't move, let's take a look, and he's wincing, glancing at his phone every few seconds, and yeah, I hear it chiming, like he's recording the whole show. He goes, please don't tell my mom. She'll kill me if she finds out I was trespassing. Looks all sorry and wide-eyed, and I start thinking, maybe I'm just an old cynic. I get him some ice, let him sit on my porch, ask if I should call anyone. He's adamant, no phone calls, no parents, just the ice, please. For a while, almost worked on me. Maybe he really did just take a wrong turn. Maybe my instincts were rusty. But every time I reassured him, he repeated it back to me, just a bit louder, like he wanted the microphone on his phone to catch it. You're not in trouble. Accidents happen. By now, I'm wondering who's the real actor here. Then it happens, the roar of a black SUV flying up my drive, gravel everywhere. Out jumps a woman in a crisp suit, hair perfect, face locked in don't mess with me mode. The kid, he transforms, suddenly limping like he's auditioning for a drama club. Mom, he shouts, he grabbed me. I tried to get away, and I fell. If you've never been blindsided by a lie that big, let me tell you, it feels like getting punched in the gut. Nicole Nelson, because of course I'd learn her name, soon enough marched over. Fury and righteousness turned up to 11, yelling, my son would never trespass. You lured him. You attacked him. And now, she's calling the cops, threatening charges, playing it up for all it's worth. 15 minutes later, Officer Davis pulls in. Nicole is all handshakes and community pride, introduces herself as the HOA president. Yeah, I groaned too. Kevin, the kid, limps over and tells his story like he's reading off a script, shows the cop a recording. And of course, it's edited just me on tape saying things like, don't worry about being on my property, nothing about him climbing my gate, nothing about me helping. Nicole didn't want an apology, she wanted a payout. $15,000 for medical expenses and trauma, or else she'd ruin me with legal action and an emergency HOA meeting. Officer Davis, totally buying her act, looks at me like I'm already guilty. Nicole holds a threat over my head while calling a room full of neighbors I barely know, painting me as a menace. By the end of that circus, I've been slapped with a $5,000 security assessment and $100 in daily fines until I could prove I was safe. Nicole and her hand-picked crowd had it all lined up: financial pressure, public shaming, and the promise of more to come if I didn't pay up. I was standing in my own driveway, isolated, watching the community I'd hoped to join turn its back on me, all because I tried to help the wrong kid at the wrong moment. Now, here's where it gets wild. Turns out, Nicole had done this before. At a local diner, I overheard an older couple squeeze them for $3,000 after her son slipped on their property. Mrs. Clark, a widow 3 streets over, confided in me about a similar scam. Her liability cost her $5,000. Nicole targeted people she thought would pay rather than fight. I started documenting everything. Every violation notice, every run-in, every fine. But Nicole caught wind and slammed me with harassment charges, claiming my questions were intimidation. My public defender said it plain: take a plea deal or risk everything. It was working. I was getting ready to cave sell the place, pay her off, disappear. But then, the unexpected twist: Kevin, the kid himself, reached out. Shaky, scared, he confessed Nicole had been coaching him for years, recording everything, practicing the falls, celebrating when people paid up. He even had audio files or voice, laying out the plans, talking about targeting the ones who won't fight back. That's when I realized this wasn't just about me. It was a business, and I wasn't the first victim. Kevin warned me. Nicole was about to call an emergency meeting to seize my property. The next day, I got a note from him: the HOA meeting is a trap. Meet me tonight. So there we were, after dark, at the old playground, Kevin handing over evidence that would break the whole thing: open recordings, statements, names of other victims. We planned, careful not to put him in the line of fire, because that kid was more scared of his mom than the cops. At the meeting, Nicole rolled out her big show charts, evidence, dramatic speeches about safety. Just as they were about to vote me out, I stood up, dropped the whole folder on the table, and told the truth. Nicole's been running a protection racket, and I have proof. The room lost its mind. Nicole tried to shut me down, but Kevin stood up shaking, voice cracking, tears in his eyes, and told everyone what really happened. My mom made me fake it. She's done this to other families. He played the recordings for the whole crowd to hear. Nicole's mask shattered in real time. She went ballistic, ranted about being a victim herself, threatened everyone, even as the police arrived and handcuffed her right there in the community center. Suddenly, I was the neighbor they all apologized to, not the monster she'd made me out to be. Nicole went down for fraud, extortion, and a laundry list of charges. 5 years in prison, banned for life from any HOA leadership, all her assets seized to pay back the people she'd squeezed. The kid, Kevin, turned his life around: community service, apology letters, and eventually college. My story became the reason Pine Valley demanded open books, transparency, and fairness from then on. We still have the annual barbecue misses. Clark's potato salad is unbeatable. The Johnson kids play in my yard, and every so often, someone new asks about the old days. I just tell them, don't let the suit and clipboard fool you. The real villains sometimes look like the folks in charge. And if you've ever been railroaded by someone in power or had to fight for what's yours, drop a comment. Because sometimes the only way to stop a bully is to shine a light and refuse to give in. So, do you trust in your neighborhood? Have you ever had to fight back against someone who thought they were untouchable? Let's hear your wildest HOA stories in the comments below. Justice doesn't always come fast, but when it finally does, well, that's a barbecue worth celebrating.